what happens actually in Maine. The seasons will change like fast. It's funny because it's literally August 1st. Oh no, July 31st. By the end of August, it'll go from like basically hibernation at night to 80, 90 degree days. It's like a 40% shift in temperature over the course of like a month. And what we like to say in Maine is you're either thinking about winter, you're preparing for winter, or you're dealing with winter. You're thinking about winter, you're preparing for winter, or you're dealing with winter. And it's a nice little metaphor for business. Today I have my Square Group meeting with that octopus team. If you followed my other vlog posts, you know what that is. If you haven't, this is kind of the steering team of the company. It's marketing and e-commerce, it's finance and operations, and we come together and we steer the company. And Origin, if you're new to this channel, is a sizable company. We started with a little timber frame factory some friends and I built in the woods of Maine, and built a footwear and apparel brand, birthed a nutritional brand, and we have hundreds of employees and tons of revenue. And really this channel is for people to know there's a voice in the world that gets you. There's a voice in the world that understands you. There's a voice in the world that has been there and is still going through it. Add more zeros, add more people, add more infrastructure, and it's all the same. Whether you're a startup, you're a young kid, you're an entrepreneur, you're well into your journey, it's all the same. Things don't get easier. They get more fun, I'd say, but they don't get easier. In this Square Group, we've got some things to work through today. Some major things. There's some risk that we're looking at for this half two. All right, and we're dealing with winter. This is our busy season. The seasons are about to change here in Maine. The seasons are about to change in the business, and we're dealing with winter. We've been thinking about winter all year. We've been preparing for winter all year. And in business, we're already thinking about winter for next year, right? So we're preparing a season ahead. Just like you got to put 10 quarter wood in to dry, and you need a year of seasoning so that shit will burn. Even though there's more BTUs in green wood. For those who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. When I was a kid, I grew up in the woods a couple of miles from where I am right now, in an old farmhouse, and we had a dug well, and so every spring our water would turn to mud, and so we'd save up the milk jugs all year long, and we'd go to the local mountain spring, and we'd fill up 100 milk jugs. That's what we would use for water for months and months and months after winter ended. They call it mud season in Maine. And to prepare for winter, my brother and I had to cut wood by hand. We couldn't afford a wood splitter, so we just have wood dropped off. It would just get dumped in the driveway by a dump truck, and this massive pile of wood, and we had to split that shit and stack it. If we didn't do that, we didn't have heat. So it was survival. And having a single mom with 4 kids close in age out in the woods, it wasn't burdensome by any means. It was just tough, rugged, resilient, and it's kind of the way. It's not kind of the way. It's the way I grew up, and it taught me to be prepared for what's to come, and not to be surprised. And I'll tell you, It didn't teach me well enough because I've been surprised so many times in business. Most of the time it's from my own doing though. And that's that ADHD neurodivergent struggle there. The struggle bus. But a storm's blowing in, and this group, this Square group, they're working through some risk. We found out within our supply chain, and listen, America's supply chain is not what it used to be. And we're doing all we can. Look at it, I just passed 2 kids. They're literally, it's raining out. They're in bare feet. They're walking down the street. They're just free. Like, I see these kids every morning. I don't know where they're coming from, out of the woods or whatever, but every morning I see them walking. I'm like, strong, capable, free kids, no phones in their hands. They probably just built a fort out in the middle of nowhere. Love seeing that shit. These supply chains, these U.S. supply chains, they're really fragile, and even if we plan perfectly, shit happens. I'll explain one situation to you. Last year, one of our primary spinners, a spinner is somebody who spins thread, and then that thread is used in a knitting process or a weaving process. They sent a bunch of their spinning machinery to Honduras. They made a call, and I'm not going to get into why, and I understand the why, but they did. And now with the tariffs, more people are trying to come back to America, which I think is great. And I think more people should look at a parallel path of manufacturing in America. And that's also now putting a higher demand on domestic materials, which is wonderful. Whether we didn't anticipate it or whether our vendors didn't anticipate it, it's jamming up the system, and so we're not getting our materials as fast as we're supposed to, which means that we can't cut and sew those materials in our factories and in our partners' factories, and so it's plugged up the system. And we just found out that there's a bunch of risk for September, and we're gonna have to work through that today. So I'm gonna take you inside the war room. And let this team get loose-lipped and see if this healthy tension can stay healthy and if we can work through these problems. Walked into rap music this morning. I like rap, 90s rap. The war room. The war room. This is gonna be a war room today, isn't it?
She's always been.
What was that face?
No friendly fire.
No friendly fire, folks.
No friendly fire. Just facts.
Just facts.
Just math.
Math?
Hard to argue with math.
No.
Why?
Phil farted, so we have to keep that open. Keep it open. Woo! Deadly.
An SBD?
Just woo. Keep it open.
Phil, did you fart, dude?
No.
Oh. So you're cold?
Yes.
Wow, that is quite a misdirection.
Yeah, I got you. You're
You're
not paying
freaking
attention.
setting Phil up for failure here.
No.
Listen,
Try not to. Just a minute.
I think.
let's everybody talk at the same time.
Oh my gosh, now I'm going to start throwing stuff.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu was good last night, Dennis?
Another communication makes
Yeah.
sure that you have flight information on
Yeah?
the field about
Dang. All right.
and they'll all have to select.
No, let's not do that. It's only these 50 that are in question.
But we don't have flight information for other people,
Yeah, we do.
not for all of them.
We don't. If they say no flight, then
No, there's some people that haven't filled it in.
then we're assuming that those guys are driving themselves, and that's okay.
Hey, we've got 10 people waiting for you guys' conversation.
That's cool. He's the birthday boy.
Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday.
you.
We sold 50 heavy hoodies yesterday.
Let's go.
Just saying.
Wow.
Just saying.
Just saying.
In the middle of July.
In the middle
Or at
of
the end
July. It was out of yesterday's go-to-market. What I have done is reworked the calendar at a high level, not granularly by units, but readjusted the forecast, the revenue forecast based off those changes. And we can talk to that, but then there's still very definitive things we need to get either answers on or direction on how we want to approach it.
But really, it's just we want to deliver the latest forecast, which is the best information we have.
Yeah, no, I definitely want the team.
We also know that there's a shift in how the composition of our business. We have better margins, but higher expenses, which is putting pressure on bottom line. And so if we actually don't deliver top line, then we might miss on the bottom.
That's and I put the pressure on us to. I want to come out of July beating the monthly forecast to de-risk holiday.
And because we do 60% of our business in Q4, does that little bit compound on that 60% in a Q4?
I think we're setting ourselves up in the other direction in that we planned to pull more proportionally out of Q4 this year
Forward.
compared to last.
That was
Yeah.
the plan.
Yeah.
So it actually should go in the other direction, in my thinking, for Q3 and Q4.
Say that again.
Well, because the plan had us pulling proportionally more revenue out of Black Friday specifically,
Right.
we should conceivably, if we got really close to plan in the first half of the year, we should have an easier time hitting plan in the back half because most of the stretch was in the first half.
For sure. Well, the majority of the growth came in the first half.
That's right. Like if we hold where we're at, that is a 20% growth over 24.
Yeah, I think the risk with H2 is the level of discounting and promotion that we were consistently in
Right.
last
I-
year, which actually will help the equation because we're going to have better margin profile this year.
That's right. So
But do we get the volume?
So even if I haven't ran this level of math, I probably don't have time to, but like even if we come in slightly under year over year in revenue on September and October,
So run it flat.
our margins are so much better
Yeah.
that
Because you were so heavily discounted.
we went into Hunt straight
We're
out of
33%.
Oh, well, remember, yeah, last year.
40% liquidation, like out of
Well, because every other brand in Hunt was doing the same thing.
We're gonna get through the sandal, we're gonna get through camp, boom, we go into fall.
Yeah.
Literally the calendar goes boop, right into fall. Jeans, boots, Moab jacket, Henleys, we're going for it. When are we launching? When am I telling Tom he's about to see a couple $100,000 incremental rolling in?
Right.
Are we able to, Andy, are you saying that you're just so unsure that you're not even willing to put a date at this point?
Any date is going to be just slightly better than a guess until these vendors give us the date.
I'm gonna run a path that doesn't rely on those products until like mid-October.
Yeah, I'm just concerned with the cash flow in that point.
Well, it's
It's not a cash flow concern because you're not paying for the product you don't get.
Yeah, I'm more concerned, like, do we really think there is lost sales in this launching it later, or do we think we're still going to capture it because as we build up,
that's
seeing
my.
it,
Here's how I see it, right? When we launch a product, goes back to our earlier conversation. When we launch a product, as long as we maintain it in stock, which we plan to do with these products, we've planned these very well, I believe, right? Like the waffle, the Moab jacket, cotton jean, all this, right? We've planned them well. Every day they're in stock, it's higher AOV, it's higher margin, it's repeat purchase rate, it's new customer acquisition at a cheaper cost, right? But every day it pushes, right? Let's say it pushes 15 days. Like, what's the cohort analysis lost revenue on 15 days?
I'll put an arbitrary date on this. I think every product that slips into November, we will not be able to capture that revenue every day.
Yeah, the closer we get to Black Friday, the more
But
the narrative changes and people are looking at like shopping deals and stuff, and so the full margin stuff it gets a lot more difficult. I think really this is a near term issue that we just need to plan for how do we. And that's where I think this like in stock in time for season idea. How do we plan out of this for the long term? Because right now, like the impact of any of these activities is going to be relatively small in the grand scheme of things over the next like 5 years. But if we continue to anniversary this, that's a much larger issue. Like in the sense, and I'm not even like the 2-3 weeks, whatever. But like I think the business as a whole needs to be able to get to a point where there's enough buffer built in that we're not worrying about landing just in time for launch, or even needing to plan launches to when the product, like the heavy hoodie, for example. That was great to be able to sell those in July, but we should that's like a fall product that we shouldn't necessarily be planning on launching the heavy hoodie restock and communicating that in July.
Yeah, I'm on board with this. I'm on board with this as long as they're buying from group, right? Which was Keith's comment from before. Finance will adjust our cadence around what the business needs and the terminology, right? Because the terminology changes from what we're currently using to that, right? If that's the end result. But at the end of the day, I think we need to be making decisions much sooner. I think that's ultimately what we're talking about. We don't make decisions, especially on product, far enough in advance to plan it properly, which then you can truly assess cash flow.
Well, then
you can truly assess revenue planning.
It puts pressure on Andy because we're putting.
No, it takes pressure off of.
No. I'm saying if we don't, it's going to just continue to compound. It's going to continue to put pressure on Andy's world. Like if we were having this conversation about Moab jackets 2 months ago, we'd be like, oh, okay, like as long as it's in stock by August 1st, who cares, right? But now we're talking about there's risk. It's going to land in the middle of the season. That reduces our sales window. That impacts AOV, right? Like it's like we got to go get it. The launch needs to be even bigger than originally planned.
And this so 2 things. I think we've made progress on being out ahead of product a little bit more. We keep running into these last minute changes, like the wrinkle additive on the Moab stuff. And the sandals change, even though we can do it. We've made progress overall in getting a little bit further in advance. This year in particular, though, the cash flow, if we're talking about fabric needs to be delivered in June for a September launch, we couldn't have done that this year.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Well, this is a correction year.
Right.
Yeah. This is a correction year for sure. But to JP's point, I think he said it well, is like, we got to break this cycle. And is 26th year to break the cycle? And if it is, we got to start really now. Right?
It is the
it
year,
has to be
right?
Year,
Okay,
really.
so terrible 24, rectified it in 25, optimize it in 26, and then blow this thing up 27 and beyond, right? Like that's kind of that's the it takes 3 years to fix.
Last year.
1 year.
Takes 3 years.
I mean,
I do like rectify it this year, which we're doing. Optimize it next year. Blow it up 27.
Yeah.
And I like that model right there, Phil. You want to unpack that model right there? Or do you not want people seeing your secret sauce? Your beautiful mind moment.
So the idea here is you have an overarching brand narrative for the entire year, right? Let's say it's built by freedom. Let's say it's sustainability, like whatever it is for brand to decide. And then you break that down into seasons as it applies to the consumer, right? So we know what the consumer behavior is in winter, spring, summer, fall, and holiday. So if we take that brand narrative and we apply it through the lens of creative to these seasons, and then you apply them to our business categories within the season: casual, smart casual, American heritage, and pursuit. Within each of those categories, you have your hero products, which make up a majority of your revenue, not just in the category, but within the season and ultimately for the brand. You have your seasonal items, which tie directly to the season. And then you have your magic, that's your collabs, your 20th Maine, things like that, right? And if we do this right, you can plan your MMU, your markdown, right, which we don't do too much of, your promos, which are seasonal liquidations, and your IMU, which is your initial markup, which is your magic. Stuff we will never put on sale, stuff like it's in, it's out, full margin. You plan a year like this, it feeds all the way to your brand narrative, your seasonal narratives, your story arcs, Pete, where we're growing by category, all the way to ASP and margin sales planning.
There you go. So the thing is we got to also make all this shit, right? And that's the that's the issue. Is normally most brands, they're marketing companies and they can just think about the front end of the business. For us, anything we do, it ricochets through the entire organization all the way back to the factory floor. And so it's a very hard model. And we figured it out. Take out last year, which was just a bunch of malarkey. Like Tom just said, what did you say? I like that terminology. Rectify, optimize, and then blow it up. So we got to do a good job on the front end in this discussion, and that's why in this octopus meeting, this square group, finance, marketing, e-commerce, and operations with no silos, and now the right hand knows what the left hand's doing, and because we manufacture, the right hand knows what the left foot's doing, and the left foot knows what the right foot's doing. So it's jiu-jitsu. 4 points of contact all the time in jiu-jitsu. That's how you compete in jiu-jitsu. 4 points of contact. And like I said earlier, you're either thinking about winter, you're preparing for winter, or you're dealing for winter. And this is part of that process. So a little magic inside the war room as we try and figure out how to win this year. And winning is the name of the game.